Hello, my beautiful fragrance family. Dustin here, fragrance fan. Go ahead and do me a solid and click that like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell notification. And I'm just going to keep on bringing you guys these budget-friendly fragrance reviews. That $40-ish and under dollar range, and most of these are way less than that. A good number of these you can find at your local rag stores. This is not a rag store find. It is a pickup of... It's been around for about a year now, I think. This is September of 2024. It's in the mid-20s on Amazon. And I didn't really look up... In fact, I didn't look up at all any reviews on this thing. I have no idea what people are saying about this thing. I just know that I've heard it mentioned through my comments a couple times on does it smell like this one or whatever. So the name was out there. I checked it out. It looked kind of interesting. It's a Louis Vuitton Limoncello. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but that's what it's cloning. I'm talking about John Lowe's Immortel. Since I've wore this thing several times now, I can give you my full conclusion on it. If you notice, mine's spelled T-E-L, Immortel, and I've seen it spelled Immortal. So I don't know what's going on there. I do know that this is definitely authentic by the way that I'll get into that in a second. Magnetic cap, presentation was surely authentic. Comes in a cylinder like this. It has a nice little cushiony little hole that it sits in, real nice and tight. Bottle is pretty heavy. Atomizer itself, nothing to write home about, but it does the job. So this one, when it opens up, you're going to get a blast of this very fresh ginger bergamot grapefruit combination. It's spicy, aquatic. It's got a little bit of florals going on there, a little bit of geranium. Sage, there's definitely a good sage rosemary combination with that grapefruit, citrus, ginger, bright opening. It's a very, very bright opening. Little bit juicy, but mostly bright, crisp, and refreshing. Like the way that lemonade, like fresh lemonade is crisp and refreshing, that's kind of how this opens. It doesn't open up smelling like lemonade, but it's that same kind of brisk, fresh, crisp opening. So, it's citrusy, it's aquatic, it's spicy, it's got a little sweetness from the amber. I love an amber, citrus, spicy combination. Tarathi Blue and Rubroca got me loving that kind of thing. There's Latafa Tawil, also kind of has that feel. And this has that same feel. It doesn't smell like Tarathi, but it has that same kind of grapefruit, spicy, amber combination. The difference is this is a lot fresher and brighter and crisper because it adds that ginger and it has a good heart of aquatic notes. It's a very, very fresh daytime summer fragrance with a bit of class. This one is one of those super freshies that will easily work in some kind of a formal setting, a formal occasion that will get you to either fit in or even stand above other suit and ties that are in there with you, because it's just one of those kind of classy scent profiles while at the same time remaining extremely safe. Youth to mature. I say this is more of a mature fragrance, but I could easily see somebody in high school liking this fragrance because it's just that easy. It's cloning a designer, a high designer at that, but it's a designer and they're kind of meant typically to be pretty crowd pleasing, and this one is definitely that. I can see this thing raking in compliments. Even though I wore this a bunch of times, I didn't get any, but I wasn't really in so many spots that it would be appropriate or that I would get noticed. So the performance on this one, the projection is no kind of beast or anything, but it's not disappointing because I'm getting a nice solid scent bubble around me for hours. I'm getting 7 hours of total longevity on this thing, 5 hours of which are good. 5 hours I can smell continuing to radiate off of me, which is a good thing. I hate when a fragrance dies back after about an hour and becomes real close and it stays there for a few hours. That's not this. It will, at least in this one that I got, my Immortel, this one has a good 4 to 5 hour, half to 3/4 of an arm length scent bubble around me, while the first hour or so is beyond an arm's length, and then it sits close to the skin. It'll hang out on clothes for about 12 hours from what I see. If you overspray, it will hang out on your clothes for 24 hours. It will. This is one of those ones that will just chill out in the fibers of your clothes if you overspray with this one. So all that being said, with this fresh, aquatic, crisp, bright, ginger, citrus, spicy, somewhat sweet floral fragrance, What is my overall rating on this one going to be? Scent profile alone is an 8 to an 8.5, and overall I'm giving this thing a 9 out of 10. One of my highest rated fragrances. This thing stole my heart. The second that I smelled this thing, I said, oh my goodness, where have you been my whole life? I've been looking for you. This is one of those fragrances that are like kind of made for me. I love this kind of a scent profile. And I kind of expected it to be kind of like where it was because of the research that I did on this thing, but I was not disappointed, and I think that I was a little bit happier than I thought I would be. It almost has, without this being in there, it almost has a juniper, somewhat like peppery, a little bit of a smoky thing going on in the beginning, like a very, very faint smoky juniper pepper. Like if I didn't look at the notes, that's kind of what I thought would have been going on in this, but that's just must be the citrus grapefruit ginger combination. I don't know, but there's no black pepper, there's no smoke, there's no juniper, but I almost thought that was in here at first. I almost did. I was like, I had to double check because it kind of fooled me for a second. I love that kind of combination anyhow. Isimiaki Disi Low Blue, heavy on the juniper. Love that thing. Strangely addicting somehow. So 9 out of 10. If you want a classy freshie that doesn't smell like all the other ones, one that's not very sweet but it has a touch of sweetness, one that's super inoffensive, lasts for a decent amount of time, super office ready, super daytime casual, summer, even dressy kind of a fragrance, not so much of an evening, but it'll work just fine. You might want to give this one a shot. For the price, this thing is punching really, really hard for the price. And it sounds like I'm going to get paid from this company or something, but that's just my honest opinion on this thing. I don't get no kickback from any of these companies. None. And even if I ever do, I'm only ever going to give you guys my honest opinion. That's a promise. So that's my final thoughts on Maison Alhambra's John Lowe Immortel. With that, I'm out. Y'all be blessed. Take care of yourself always. And until next time.